and today knowledge topic is basic introduction to machine learning. My name is Arjun Masturi. And so
आप लोगों की पर्सनल डिस्कशन है, आप बाहर जा सकते हो.
So the topic will be covering logic of machine learning and different kinds of machine learning, key elements of the machine learning, type of machine learning, and the techniques for the machine learning. So first question is what is machine learning? So we can say that science for creating an algorithm or program which learn to their own. Once we design that program and we can go and get after the designing of that program doesn't need any human to make correction or anything else. That is called machine learning. So the machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence. Which provide the computer with the ability of the learn without the being an explicit program. Machine learning focus on the development of the computer program that can teach computer to go and change when expected new data. So where we use the machine learning in the fraud detection, stock tagging, computer vision, text detection, or egg placement, and you can say credit scoring. There is so many places where we use machine learning. Now, different kinds of the machine learning. First is data mining. What is the data mining? Data mining, in the data mining, we combine the artificial intelligence and the statistical analysis together to find the deep information with the data. And which type of the information we get from the data? We get the information about the association, sequence, classifications, forecasting, anomalies, and grouping. So first option, association. What is the association? In a data mining function that discovers the probability of the co-occurrence of the items in the collection, that is called the association. So what is the sequence? For the sequence, finding of the relevant patterns between the data and examples where the values are delivered in a sequence, that is called sequence. In a classification, we put the algorithm.
What is sequence?
In a sequence, we find the relevant pattern between the data. If we have a knockout condition of the data, then we start finding the sequence between the data which are common between those data. So that we can deliver in a sequence. And after that, we apply the classification where we do the classification for the recognition of the patterns. And after that, we do the forecasting. In the forecasting, we use the prediction-based model, and we provide past data for prediction. And after that, anomalies in the outliner, fraud detection, and many different kinds where we can do it. And at last, we put all the data together to find the result. After that, we come to predictive analysis. Predictive analysis usually you turn in data in a machine learning. People running that reporting also such as analysis data and so to predictive modeling on that. We use the business intelligence or the current data with the historical fact. We create the historical information from the data and put the business intelligence on that and to do the prediction about the data. It comes in the predictive analysis. In the advanced analysis, we cannot use the business intelligence. In a business intelligence, what we do, we use the historical data where we ask what happened and who do it and who did it, but in a advanced analytics we do what will happen, who will do it, what will be the changes in it. So advanced analytics, when we look advanced analytics, we live beyond the business intelligence and to the prediction with the results. And at last is data science. Data science is the future. It's a combination of the mathematics, statistics, programming, and the concept of the problem being solved with the way of capture data that may not be being captured with the ability of the logic. So at last, when we look at data science is work on the structured data or either unstructured data, both with the help of statistics, data mining, and predictive analysis for doing the prediction. After that, key elements of the machine learning. First, data. What is data? There are two types of data in machine learning. First is label data, second is unlabeled data. Label data is those data which is structured in the structured form, and we can find out the information from there. And second is the unlabeled data. Unlabeled data is the data which is not in a structured form, and we don't find out the information from that easily. Suppose we have some images and we don't know whose images it. Data it's a unstructured data, but when we know, okay, this image belongs to this person, that is structured data. So first we explore the data and we clean all the data. We remove all the unnecessary files from the data and keep the data in a proper form. After that, we find a pattern in those data. What is the common pattern between all the data? So we can put algorithms on that. After that, we perform the prediction with the help of algorithms which we apply on the data. So up and now we divided the data into three parts. First part is the training data, second part is the testing data, third part is the validation data. For the training data, with the help of training data, we trained our models to perform any task, and with the testing data, we test our model. And for validation data is not always come into the play. It's a very useful when we have a model which work on the network. So when we have to do all the tuning and optimization, that time we use validation data. Now we can do testing or training with the same data, but we cannot do testing and training with the same data because when we train any data, any model, and we test that can produce the resubstitution error. Means you cannot be sure about the result. Okay, our model is trained or not because we have given the same value for the training time, and we are giving same value for the testing time. So sometimes it will happen. Okay, it will give you correct result and sometimes it will not provide you correct result. So we have divided data into three parts. And we just our model with the separate data set, so we can make sure okay our model is working fine or not.
So how do you explore data?
We explore the data, so we remove all the unnecessary files and basically we clean our data. If there is any unnecessary file, unnecessary information which we don't use, or with all those information there is no any use in the further or in the future, so we remove those information from the data, and after that we divide it into the separate parts.
So we have to do that manually, right?
Yeah.
Or can we use machine learning to do that also?
It can be divided and it can be cleaned our data.
we do it manually, then how can we get that unnecessary information? How can we know that this is the unnecessary information if we are doing it manually?
There are many information which we don't use in the future. Suppose you have any weather information, and there is some information about any kind of thing that we don't need in the future. In the weather information we use only temperature and place and about the condition of the time. But suppose we have a database where with this element we have some else element which we don't need in the future, so we can remove those.
And how do we decide that these conditions we don't need?
It will divide on the time of development when you are going to develop any model, or when you are going to train any model. That time you have to decide, okay, my model will do this work, and after that it will learn from this and it will predict on the basis of this information.
And when we are dividing our data in testing, training and validation, in what percentage we should divide it? How should we divide it?
For the testing, for the training we can do it 20%, for testing 60%, and for validation 20%. Because when we train any model, okay, we have some amount of data, we train our model. But for the testing, we have to give it different scenarios so that we can check, okay, our model is working fine or not. So for the testing purpose, we have to get large amount of data, and for the validation, it's also we have to only validate for training, for optimizing and training. So for data 20%.
How like the training data and testing data are different?
Suppose you have given that some information, okay, my model will work on these elements and combination of these elements, and we will provide some combination of data with the training time. After that, we have provided or mostly possible combination of the data for the testing, and so like this, suppose you have to four types of elements which you have to train your model. So you have to provide some data for the training. We will provide some amount. Okay, suppose we have the weather. Suppose we have the weather, warm, cool, and mild. And we have provide data for the warm, cool, and mild. But we will not provide all the combination of the data. We will train our model for some combination. Okay, for warm and cool and warm and mild. After that, we will provide the test. During the testing time, we will provide all the data, all the scenarios for that combination, all the scenarios, and we will do the test on the basis of that. Okay, it will take it given with the expectation or not.
Same for the patterns as well. Can we do the patterns through the machine learning as well, or do we have to?
It is doing by machine learning. It's doing by they find the patterns, and then we apply the algorithm, and with the algorithm, and on the basis of algorithm, they provide the prediction here.
That modeling part is basically just find patterns, or models are used in all three steps.
So types of the machine learning. First is supervised learning. In the supervised learning, suppose we learn at a college. That we learn under any teacher. So in a supervised learning, we build our model and we can predict. We provide our model data with the past data and train our model, and so that our model perform the prediction on that. So in that, when we have the level data, that can be used supervised learning because if our model is not given bigger, we can say okay, in the past it is given this, so it will be this. In a unsupervised learning, we don't have data with learning. We do unsupervised learning with on the unlabeled data. So it allows us to approach the problem with the little or no idea. Suppose we don't have any idea, or we don't have some idea on the problem, but we directly interact with the problem and we derive the structure from the data where we don't necessarily know how to effect on the variables. We can derive a structure by clustering the data based on the relationship among the variables, and there is no feedback based on the prediction result.
What is the benefit of labeled data?
What is the benefit of
Labeled data?
in a label data? We know okay, in the past this is the region, and in the future the region will be the we can predict okay, with the help of the label data we can predict okay, in the past this is the region and in the future it will be. But in the unstructured data, unlabeled data, we don't have any past region, we don't have any information, or we directly interact with the problem, and we suppose okay, it will be this. We don't have any verification for the unlabeled data. We cannot verify okay, in the past in the label data we can verify okay, in the past for this situation happened this, and in the future okay, it will be happen this. But in the unlabeled data we can do this. We cannot predict, we cannot give feedback on the prediction. Reinforcement learning. In the reinforcement learning is the area of machine learning concerned with the action and software agent with a particular environment. In this, in the reinforcement learning, machine directly interact with the dynamic situations and then itself to achieve the goal. For example, when we play chess, background checkers and other robot activities are come in the reinforcement learning because it directly interacts in the dynamic situation and achieve their goal. Like there is semi-supervised learning where we provide some amount of labeled data and large amount of unlabeled data. So we can provide some information to our model. Okay, this is our labeled data and it work like this in the past, and this is the unstructured data where we have to do prediction with the basis of unlabeled data.
What is goal in reinforcement learning?
Okay.
What is goal?
Goal. Suppose we have a robot and we provide some task. So we have that kind for the robot. That task is a goal. When we are playing chess, that kind for the winning is a goal for both, for the human or for the machine. That kind when we play online chess, that kind the second player will keep the machine. Their goal is the winning the game. So that is a goal for the machines. So classification algorithm is the naive-Bayes model. In the naive-Bayes rule, it used for the finding the probability of the events. If we have events E and total number of instances of that event H, so we can calculate the probability of the event. We use that formula that probability of X E equal to probability of E upon X into multiplied by probability of X divided by probability of E, where E equal to instance, X is equal to class of events, and probability X upon E equal to probability of the event after evidence has been seen. So for example, we have a data set. This is a data set for the 14 days of a tennis game. Where output is the sunny, overcast, rainy, and temperature is hot, mild, cool, and after that humidity, wind, and the net tennis, which is the reason for that model. Now, this is the data set we have. Now we find the information from this data set. For the funny, we play game. First we find that how many output for funny. There is 5 output. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. After that, we find for yes and no. There is only 2 times in a funny condition, only 2 times. This and this. Only 2 times we play the game, and the remaining condition we didn't play any game. So for funny, we find the method and we put here funny. Okay, for funny, we 2 times we play tennis or 3 times more. Like this for overcast and for rainy. And we find all the possible scenarios for the hot, mild, cold, high and normal. Total instance of play tennis is 9 for yes and for no is 5. Now we are doing P upon it. Now, total number of events happens and total number of instance and events happen. So for 9 times yes in a funny we play only 2 times. For 9 times for 5 times no. We play in a funny there is a combination 3 upon 5. Like this for overcast 4 upon 9 for yes and for no there is no for overcast and for rainy there is 3 upon 5, 2 upon 5 and like this temperature, humidity, wind and play. For play we find that okay. Out of 14 we play 9 times and we don't play 5 times in out of 14. Now we have a data set. Now we put the this is a problem for sunny, cool, this is a problem for outlook sunny, temperature is cool, humidity is high, wind is true. Play is possible or not? So for outlook sunny, yes. Now we use this model. For sunny, yes, it's 2 upon 9. For temperature is cool. For cool, for sunny, 3 upon 9. For humidity, for wind, means for yes condition we find all the possible scenarios for those, and now for no. For don't scenario we find out all the scenarios. Now put it into the formula, just constant. Yes, sunny. Then for the yes condition we give all the numbers and calculate. So we find for yes, okay, yes sunny, we have to 0.0053% and 53, and for the for don't name sunny, there is 0.0206 in a with the help of levels, and now we find for a yes scenario. This is can be not for yes. We add yes and no both come. We have to yes scenario 0.053 divided by with the yes and no. With the addition of yes and no, we find 0.205, and for no, same calculation we did for the no, and here we find okay for no we have to 0.0206 divided by sum of E is equal to 0.79. So when we multiply it with the 100, we found okay 20.5 is for yes and 79.5 for no. So we can say that clearly say that okay with the probability for not playing tennis is 80% with the help of nervous.
And what if the probability comes out 50%? What will happen if the probability comes out to be 50%?
It depends on the player. Okay. They can play or they can not.
But what will the machine tell me?
Sorry. Proceed.
है